Welcome back to another Champion Deep Dive. And today, we're talking about the infamous Iron Man. He's a shock-inflicting, power-burning, special-locking Iron Man with a plan with a piercing heavy attack that might look familiar. Now, let's get into it. Infamous Iron Man enters the contest with an always active ability, where when he'd normally land a critical attack, he'll inflict an instant shock instead, dealing energy damage equal to what the critical attack would have dealt. Also, if his opponent would gain 2 or more prowess effects at once, they are converted into a single, indefinite energy vulnerability debuff. These debuffs stack, but each time it's triggered, the potency is reduced by 10%. Infamous Iron Man's modifications to his Iron Man armor allow him to start each fight with an indefinite armor up buff, granting him immunity to all shock and incinerate effects. If this buff is lost, it restores itself after 12 seconds. However, this timer is paused while suffering from an armor break debuff. Now, his medium attacks do not make contact with his opponent and inflict shock debuffs, dealing energy damage over 2 seconds. While charging a heavy attack, if his opponent is within striking distance while suffering from a shock debuff, all of their shock effects are consumed and replaced with a passive stun for 0.6 seconds. This stun cannot trigger during the opponent's special attacks. Additionally, the final hit of his heavy attack inflicts a non-stacking cowardice debuff, reducing the opponent's special attack damage by 40% for 5 seconds. Next up, Infamous Iron Man has the Aura of Iron, which is activated when 1 or more shocks are consumed by his heavy attack, lasting 2.6 seconds for each shock removed off of the opponent if it is not already active. While the Aura of Iron is active, his special attacks are passively unblockable, and the aura is paused during either champion's special attacks. While paused in this way, landing a medium attack ends the aura early. Also, each time he inflicts one of his personal shocks, it is immediately replaced by a burst of energy damage that power burns a percentage of the opponent's current power, based on the potency of the replaced shock. Now, the Aura of Iron cannot trigger, while Infamous Iron Man does not have his personal armor up buff. And its duration is reduced by 4 seconds for each unique non-prowess buff on the opponent, above 2. Finally, Infamous Iron Man becomes passively unstoppable and stun immune against the last hit of incoming Special 1, Special 2, and heavy attacks. Does that sound familiar? Additionally, if the damage of the hit exceeds 5% of his maximum health, he gains a regeneration buff, restoring the excess damage over 5 seconds. Now, let's check out his special attacks. The Special 1. On activation, Infamous Iron Man enters the Aura of Iron for 8 seconds. However, if it was already active, the opponent is passively special locked instead for the aura's remaining duration. With the Special 2, after the first hit, he gains increased attack rating for each of his opponent's filled bars of power for the remainder of the attack. Additionally, each beam hit inflicts a shock debuff, dealing energy damage over 5 seconds. The Special 3. On activation, Infamous Iron Man enters the Aura of Iron for 24 seconds. This aura cannot be ended early. And Infamous Iron Man gains increased critical rating for each of the opponent's filled bars of power until it expires. If the Aura of Iron was already active, both Infamous Iron Man and his opponent gain an energized passive, increasing their combat power rate by 100%, lasting until the aura expires. Now let's check out his signature ability. When awakened, if his health drops below 15%, Infamous Iron Man gains a regeneration buff, healing up to 35% of his maximum health over 10 seconds. While this buff is active, the opponent is passively special locked. Also, while the Aura of Iron is active, the opponent suffers 100% flat reduced unblockable ability accuracy. Additionally, while his personal armor up buff is active, he gains increased block proficiency and energy resistance. Now let's take him out for a spin in the champion rotation. To begin, perform a medium, light, light, light combo, and then use your heavy attack to convert the shock from your medium attack to enter the Aura of Iron. Continue this cycle while building up to your Special 3. Once available, activate the Aura of Iron and then launch your Special 3 to gain an extended aura and energize for 24 seconds. At the end of the attack, take advantage of the energized buff to build up to your Special 2 while power burning the opponent each time you would land a critical hit or place a shock. From here, push the opponent to their Special 3 and launch your Special 2 to unleash a devastating amount of power burn damage on each hit. Rinse and repeat while the Aura of Iron is still active, or until the opponent is knocked out. For shorter fights, build up to your Special 2. If possible, try to prevent your opponent from using their special attacks. By the time you reach your Special 2, they should be near their own Special 3. From here, perform the 4-hit combo into a heavy attack to activate the Aura of Iron and push them to 3 full bars of power. Here's the clincher. After the first hit, cancel into your Special 2 and watch the red numbers infamously grace the screen. Now, let's check out some best uses. Every time he inflicts Bishop with energy damage, he'll convert the prowess gained into a permanent energy vulnerability debuff, amplifying his damage to a whole new height against high prowess matchups. Also, Bishop's Incinerate after her Special 1 won't be as much of a threat as long as Infamous Iron Man's armor up buff is active, making him a strong and viable counter. Burning a defender's power from 3 full bars with his Special 2 is where Infamous Iron Man will be most dominant. Nodes that increase the combat power rate of the defender will only help him burn. While his armor up buff is active, Infamous Iron Man is immune to all shock and incinerate effects, making him a strong counter to nodes and defenders that rely on those abilities to pose a threat. Since he can't land critical hits, Infamous Iron Man is able to fight without worry on nodes like spiked armor or against abilities that punish critical attacks. Infamous Iron Man inflicts an instant shock every time he would land a critical hit, naturally unlocking the threshold to damage on Thunderstruck. Now let's check out some notable synergies. I know how they think. With Infamous Iron Man on the team, this is a solo synergy where he gains plus 460 critical damage rating while fighting villain champions for each knocked out team member. Atonement. With Dr. Doom on the team, all hero champions gain plus 8% attack rating. Additionally, robot champions gain plus 20% ability accuracy. The Iron Mantle. With Iron Man Infinity War, War Machine, Civil Warrior, or Iron Patriot on the team, armor-up effects are increased by 10% for each Synergy member present. Trust issues. With the Thing, Human Torch, or Mr. Fantastic on the team, Infamous Iron Man gains plus 4,900 critical rating while the opponent has greater than 2 bars of power. With the Thing, when rock stacks are removed, Thing gains an extra Fury passive. With Human Torch, the chance to incinerate when struck is increased by a flat 100%. And with Mr. Fantastic, he'll imprison the opponent's soul at the start of the fight, reducing their chance to activate buffs by 100% for 15 seconds. Dr. Despots. With Doctor Strange on the team, cowardice effects on the opponent are 50% more potent. As for Doctor Strange, heavy attacks refresh all existing blessings, and all effects from his special one are increased by a flat 100% for each active blessing. Contingency Protocols. With Penny Parker on the team, whenever one of either champion's personal shock or incinerate effects are prevented by an immunity, they inflict a corresponding incinerate or shock instead. These incinerates count as shocks for the purposes of Infamous Iron Man's abilities. Finally, Rotted Souls. With Mephisto on the team, whenever Infamous Iron Man is immune to an effect, he deals a burst of energy damage equal to 200% of his attack rating. This effect has its potency reduced by 20% each time it triggers. As for Mephisto, the duration of soul imprisonment is doubled. Now, did you see a synergy that burned down the competition? Thinking of a new Synergy team? Let us know your thoughts below, and let's discuss. Thank you for watching this Champion Deep Dive for Infamous Iron Man. If you liked the video and want to see more, click subscribe, like, comment, and share. And remember, we'll see you in the battle round.